Hello everyone and welcome to this week's episode of This Week in Eagle Athletics. I'm your host, Dylan Brown, as always, Midway Sports Information Director, bringing you latest news from last week and bringing you up talking about this week's upcoming events. So last week was a tough week for the Eagles. The women's basketball team went 0-2 with a 95-67 loss earlier in the week, and then later in the week they suffered a 72-65 loss to West Virginia Tech. A tough week for them. They'll be looking to rebound this week for sure. The same thing with the men's basketball team. They also went 0-2, unfortunately. 85-62 loss to Rio Grande and a 93-65 loss to West Virginia Tech on Saturday. Both teams looking to rebound. They're in the thick of conference play. Both teams fighting to make a playoff run here at the end, trying to get into the playoffs, and that's one thing teams are always trying to do right now, is trying to make a late run and get into the playoffs. With that said, let's look to this week as the Eagles will look to rebound. On Thursday, January 25th, the basketball teams will be headed to Richmond, Indiana to take on Indiana University East in a River States Conference basketball doubleheader. The women will tip at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and the men will tip at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time in Richmond, Indiana. IU East, typically one of the top teams in the conference. They both are. Their women and men this year both are. Their women's team is receiving votes, and their men are all the way up to number 3 in the NAIA Division II coaches poll. Later in the week, the basketball teams will be hosting Ohio Christian University on Saturday, January 27th, here inside Marshall Gymnasium. We hope to see people there. The women will tip at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and the men will tip at 3. So make sure you're there. Get your times right. That's Eastern Time. Make sure you're there on time. And at halftime of the women's game, which will be at about 1:45, we will be honoring the 2007-2008 Midway women's basketball team. Halftime of the women's game, that team went 23-8 back in 2007-2008. They posted a 23-8 or 23-8 record overall, as I said. And then they also went 9-1 in conference play, which was then the Kentucky Intercollegiate Athletics Conference. So we will be honoring them. The reason we're honoring them is they, back in 2008, they were the KIAC regular season conference champions. So we'll be honoring them. There's about 15 families coming, so we'll be happy to have them on campus to honor them for their great accomplishment in Midway's history. And then on Saturday, January 27th, and Sunday, January 28th, we close the week with the Western and Hunt Seat teams getting back to action. They will be headed to the University of Kentucky to compete in the University of Kentucky shows here in nearby Lexington, Kentucky. Hope to see some Eagle fans out at the basketball games. Also, good luck to the Western and Hunt Seat teams as they open up their spring season. Both teams, both clubs, posted strong seasons in the fall, so they'll be hoping to continue that success as we move forward into the spring. It'll also be the head coaching debut of Heath Gunnison, so we want to wish Heath and the Hunt Seat team, as well as Robin Gallahan and the Western team, good luck to them. That'll be all for this week. Hopefully next week we will be talking about some wins. Monday, January 29th will be our next episode of This Week in Eagle Athletics. We hope to see you here. This is Dylan Brown signing off. We'll see you next time. Thank you.